Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here today. If you want to be wealthy and happy, the first thing you need to do is ask yourself, what do these words actually mean to me? Most of us grow up surrounded by images and messages that define wealth as luxury. Big houses, fast cars, expensive clothes, and happiness. That's often sold to us as fleeting moments of pleasure, a vacation, a new phone, a night out. But if we're not careful, we end up chasing someone else's idea of success and missing our own. So take a moment and think about it. Is wealth really just about having money, or is it about what money allows you to do? Freedom from stress, time with your loved ones, the ability to say no. When something doesn't align with your values, maybe it's the security of knowing your bills are paid, or the joy of giving back without hesitation. Real wealth isn't just about numbers in a bank account, it's about options. It's about building a life where you're not constantly trading your peace for a paycheck, and happiness, well, that goes even deeper. It's not about being in a good mood every day. True happiness is a sense of fulfillment. It's waking up and feeling that your life means something, that you're growing, that you're connected to something larger than yourself. It's the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you're on the right path, even if the road is a little bumpy. So before you can build a wealthy and happy life, you have to define what that looks like for you. Not your neighbor, not your parents, not social media. You. Once you know what you're aiming for, the next step is to build wealth with intention. Not randomly, not reactively, but strategically. This means getting honest about your finances, not just what you earn, but how you spend, how you save, and how you grow what you have. Financial literacy is one of the most powerful tools we have, and yet so many people go through life avoiding it out of fear or frustration. But here's the truth. Money doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to be understood. Learn the basics, how compound interest works, how to budget, how to invest even small amounts over time. You don't need to be a financial expert. You just need to be willing to learn. We also need to talk about income because earning more gives you more room to create the life you want. And in today's world, relying on a single source of income is like walking a tightrope without a safety net. Building multiple income streams, whether it's a side hustle, freelance work, or passive investments, isn't just smart, it's essential. But this isn't about working yourself into the ground. It's about being intentional. Look at what you're good at, what you enjoy, and how you can bring value to others. Wealth flows to value. So the more value you create, the more potential you have to earn and grow. And one of the most overlooked parts of building wealth is the mindset around it. We live in a world that celebrates instant result, overnight success, quick wins, fast cash, but wealth, like anything worthwhile, takes time. It requires patience, discipline, and the ability to say no to short-term pleasures in order to build long-term freedom. That's delayed gratification, and it's one of the most important skills anyone can learn. Not just financially, but in every area of life. You don't need to be born into money. You don't need to be lucky. What you need is clarity, consistency, and the courage to start, even if you start small. The goal isn't just to have money. The goal is to have a life that feels good on the inside, not just one that looks good on the outside. If you want to be wealthy and happy, begin by redefining those words for yourself, and then commit to building them both, brick by brick, with intention and integrity. Once you start redefining wealth and happiness, and begin building your financial life with purpose, something else becomes clear. The work you do every day matters, not just for your income, but for your overall sense of happiness. You can be making good money, even saving and investing wisely, but if you spend 40 hours a week or more doing something that drains you, something that feels meaningless, that doesn't line up with who you are, eventually you'll feel it. It starts small, a bit of frustration on Monday morning, a sense of fatigue that won't go away, a growing thought in the back of your mind. Is this really all there is? That's why aligning your work with your values is essential, not just for your happiness, but even for your long-term success. When your work reflects what you care about, when it speaks to your interests and strengths, it energizes you instead of draining you. That doesn't mean every minute is fun or easy, but there's a deeper sense of purpose behind it. You're building something you believe in, you're solving problems you actually care about, and that makes you more resilient, more focused, and yes, even more valuable in the marketplace. Sometimes that means making bold changes, starting something new, switching careers, even walking away from something stable to pursue something more meaningful, but it doesn't always require a massive leap. It could be finding a way to bring more of your values into your current role. It could mean taking a side project seriously or volunteering in a way that lights you up. The point is this: if you're working only for the paycheck without any connection to what you're doing, you'll always feel a gap between your wealth and your happiness. They'll never fully meet. And here's the thing: finding work that aligns with you is not always a straight path. That's where the mindset comes in. If you want to be both wealthy and happy, you need to develop a mindset that sees challenges as opportunities and setbacks as part of the process. That's what a growth mindset is all about. It's the ability to look at life not as something that happens to you, but something that happens for you. A growth mindset allows you to learn from failure instead of being crushed by it. It helps you try again when things don't go as planned. It tells you, I may not know how to do this yet, but I can figure it out. That little word, yet, has changed more lives than we probably realize, because when you believe you can grow, you stop being afraid of mistakes. You stop needing to be perfect before you start, and that opens doors, financial doors, career doors, personal doors, that otherwise stay closed. You see, no one builds wealth or happiness by staying comfortable. The people who grow, financially, emotionally, spiritually, are the ones who are willing to stretch. They take risks, they ask for help, they invest in themselves, they understand that personal development isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Whether it's reading, taking a course, asking for feedback, or simply reflecting on their habits and mindset, they're constantly learning, because every time you grow, your capacity for both wealth and happiness expands. And here's something else about a growth mindset: it keeps you humble. It reminds you that no matter how far you've come, there's always room to improve. That humility keeps you open to new ideas, to new people, to new ways of doing things. It keeps you curious, and curiosity is a powerful engine for both success and satisfaction. So when you're on this path, when you're building a life that includes real wealth and lasting happiness, don't just ask, what do I want to have? Ask, who do I want to become? Because in the end, it's not just about what you accumulate. It's about who you are while you're building it, and that version of you. The one who's aligned, growing, and living with intention. That's someone who can truly enjoy both wealth and happiness. As you start aligning your work with your values and embracing a mindset that welcomes growth, something else becomes very clear. All the success in the world means nothing if you don't have your health or people to share it with. You could build an empire, make millions, have every material comfort, but if you're disconnected from the people around you, or if your body is breaking down from stress and neglect, you won't feel wealthy. And you certainly won't feel happy. It's easy to get so focused on achievement that we start sacrificing the things that matter most: our relationships and our well-being. Late nights become the norm. Meals are rushed or skipped. Time with family gets postponed. Friendships are put on hold, and slowly, almost without noticing, the very things that bring us joy and connection slip away. That's the paradox. We chase wealth thinking it will make us happy, but we trade away the very things that actually do. That's why prioritizing your relationships and your health isn't a side note. It's part of the foundation. We are social beings. We need connection, support, laughter, love. Some of the greatest moments of wealth and happiness in life come from sitting around a dinner table, sharing stories, feeling seen, and knowing we belong. Those moments don't require a cent, but they're priceless. So ask yourself, who are the people in your life who really matter, and are you showing up for them the way you want to? It doesn't take grand gestures. Sometimes it's a phone call, a walk, an honest conversation. Sometimes it's just being fully present without a phone in your hand or a to-do list in your head. Because when you invest in people, You build emotional wealth, and that kind of wealth pays you back in ways money never could. And then there's your health, not just physical health, but mental and emotional health too. When we think of wealth, we often overlook the simple truth that energy is wealth. If you don't have the energy to enjoy your life, to follow your dreams, to show up for yourself and others, then all the money in the world won't help. Taking care of your body through rest, movement, nutrition, and mindfulness isn't indulgent, it's responsible. It allows you to sustain your effort, stay focused, and show up consistently. Burn out isn't a badge of honor, it's a warning sign. Listen to it. And here's something powerful. When you start taking care of your body and mind, you start making better decisions. You become more patient, more thoughtful, more capable of seeing the big picture. That alone can transform the way you build wealth and experience happiness. And while we're talking about decisions, let's talk about something that amplifies both wealth and happiness: gratitude and generosity. These two qualities are often seen as emotional, maybe even soft, but in truth, they are some of the most powerful forces you can activate in your life. Gratitude shifts your perspective. It trains your mind to focus on what's working, what's good, what's already enough. And that changes everything. It doesn't mean you stop striving, but it means you don't need to achieve more to feel better. You start to see that wealth isn't only in the future, it's also in the now. It's in the roof over your head, the food on your table, the people who care about you, and the ability to learn and grow. Gratitude turns what you have into enough, and it turns every small win into a reason to keep going. And generosity, that's how you multiply happiness, not just for others but for yourself. When you give, whether it's time, money, kindness, or knowledge, you create a sense of meaning and connection. You remind yourself that you have something valuable to offer, that you're not just here to take but to contribute, and that feeling, that your life is having a positive impact, is one of the deepest sources of happiness there is. You don't have to be rich to be generous. You don't have to have it all figured out to say thank you, to lend a hand, to offer encouragement. These are habits, daily choices, and over time they shape your character, your relationships, and your legacy. Because at the end of the day, being wealthy and happy isn't about luck or perfection. It's about building your life with care, with values, with awareness, and most of all, with heart. In the pursuit of wealth and happiness, there's a constant tension we all face. How do we strive for more without constantly feeling like we're not enough? How do we dream bigger without falling into the trap of always chasing? That's where balance comes in, because ambition is powerful. It drives growth, innovation, achievement. But if ambition isn't balanced with contentment, it can leave you feeling empty, no matter how much you accomplish. You see, it's easy to get caught in the when-then cycle. When I get the promotion, then I'll be happy. When I buy the house, then I'll feel successful. When I hit that income goal, then I can finally relax. But there's always another when, and if you don't learn to find joy and satisfaction in the now, in the process, you end up postponing happiness over and over again. That doesn't mean you stop reaching for more. Ambition is a good thing. It gives you direction. It pushes you to grow. But contentment is what keeps you grounded. It allows you to enjoy the life you're living while you're building the life you want. The two can coexist. You can be proud of where you are and still be excited about where you're going. You can appreciate what you have and still aim higher. This balance is something you have to practice. It's not automatic, especially in a world that constantly shows you what you don't have, what you're not yet doing, who's ahead of you. But remember, comparison kills contentment. Your journey is yours. Your timing is yours, and happiness isn't about arriving. It's about being present. It's about being able to pause, take a breath, and say, right now, in this moment, I have enough. I am enough. Now, with that balance in place, there's one more key to tying everything together: having a clear vision and taking consistent action. Because no matter how well you define wealth, how intentionally you work, how much gratitude you practice, none of it moves forward without action. Clarity without commitment is just a nice thought. You need to know what you want, yes, but more importantly, you need to act on it again and again, even when motivation fades. That starts with a vision. Not just a vague hope, but a specific picture of the life you want to build. What does your ideal day look like? Who are you with? What kind of work are you doing? How do you feel when you wake up in the morning? Get detailed, because the clearer your vision, the easier it is to take action that aligns with it. Without a vision, you drift. With a vision, you move with purpose, but don't wait for the perfect time to start. Perfection is the enemy of progress. Take small, meaningful steps. Even if they feel insignificant at first, send the email, sign up for the class, save the extra $50, reach out to the mentor, reflect on your habits. Whatever it is, do something, because action builds momentum, and momentum builds belief. And just as important as taking action is revisiting your vision. Life changes, you change, and what once mattered deeply might not carry the same weight later on. So check in with yourself. Is this still the life I want to build? Are these still the goals that align with my definition of wealth and happiness? That ongoing self-awareness keeps you on a path that's not only successful but authentic. The truth is, no one hands you a wealthy and happy life. You build it, not all at once, but piece by piece. Through choices, through habits, through how you show up each day. And while the path may not always be easy, it will be worth it. Because it's yours. You don't have to choose between being wealthy and being happy. You can be both if you're willing to build with intention, live with integrity, and lead with purpose. Thank you.